Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free English ebook before it's gone. Do you know how to make conditional statements in English? Welcome to 3-Step English Practice by EnglishClass101.com. In this lesson, you will practice how to make conditional statements in English. Let's look at the main dialogue. Two people are having a conversation. Yeah, if I had a bowling alley, I'd use the metric system. Well, I'll just have to remember I'm a size 7 from now on. In this conversation, this person says, if I had a bowling alley, I'd use the metric system. He uses this sentence to say what he would do in an ideal but unlikely situation. The main focus starts with if, which establishes that this situation is an imagined what-if situation. Then he says, I had a bowling alley. He uses a verb in the past simple tense to explain the ideal situation. After that, he says, I'd, a contraction of I would. This means what follows is what he, the speaker, would do if the situation he just described came true. Finally, he says, use the metric system. This is a phrase that uses a bare infinitive verb to show what he would do if the conditions were met. A bare infinitive is a verb in its infinitive form, like to go, but without the word to. Again, that's a past simple verb phrase for the condition, and then a bare infinitive verb phrase to show what they would do if that condition were met. Let's practice with this grammar more in this lesson. Let's do some fill-in-the-blank questions. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If I, a restaurant, it would, a pizza place. If I, a restaurant, it would, a pizza place. Had and be. Had and be. If I had a restaurant, it would be a pizza place. If I had a restaurant, it would be a pizza place. Had is the past simple tense of to have, and be is the bare infinitive form of to be. Also, this sentence shows that just because one person uses the past simple verb in the what if, it doesn't mean they also have to do the conditional action in the second part of the sentence. Here, it's the restaurant from the situation that does something with it would be. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If I, a grocery store, I'd, lots of things. If I, a grocery store, I'd, lots of things. Owned and sell. Owned and sell. If I owned a grocery store, I'd sell lots of things. If I owned a grocery store, I'd sell lots of things. Owned is the past simple form of to own, and sell is the bare infinitive form of to sell. In the other option, the forms are swapped around. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If she, a store, she'd, a lot of business. If she, a store, she'd, a lot of business. Ran and get. ran, and get. If she ran a store, she'd get a lot of business. If she ran a store, she'd get a lot of business. While both answers have the correct form for get, only the second has the correct past simple form for ran. Run is the bare infinitive form, and you can't form this kind of sentence with a bare infinitive verb in both places. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If I, the lottery, I'd bowling every day. If I, the lottery, I'd bowling every day. One and go. One and go. If I won the lottery, I'd go bowling every day. If I won the lottery, I'd go bowling every day. For this, even though both answers have the correct past simple form won for the first verb, the second verb needs to be in the base infinitive form. Gone is also in the past simple form, and since we can't have past simple verbs for both blank spaces, won and gone is incorrect. Let's test your knowledge of this sentence structure. Unscramble the words to make a sentence. Ready? If. If I. If I had. If I had pets. If I had pets, I'd. If I had pets, I'd be. If I had pets, I'd be happy. If I had pets, I'd be happy. Unscramble the words to make a sentence. If. If it. If it worked. If it worked, it'd. If it worked, it'd look. If it worked, it'd look cool. If it worked, it'd look cool. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If I were you, I would or will order 2 pizzas. If I were you, I would or will order 2 pizzas. Would. Would. If I were you, I would order 2 pizzas. If I were you, I would order 2 pizzas. Would is used here because conditional sentences like this use the past tense, and will does not match that tense. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If he is or were taller, he could be a model. If he is or were taller, he could be a model. Were. Were. If he were taller, he could be a model. If he were taller, he could be a model. Were is used here as the past simple form, but is the present form, so were has to be used. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If they weren't or were lazy, they'd have a job. If they weren't or were lazy, they'd have a job. Weren't. Weren't. If they weren't lazy, they'd have a job. If they weren't lazy, they'd have a job. If they were not lazy, they would have a job. And if they were lazy, they would have a job are both grammatically correct sentences, but only the first makes sense in most situations. Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Ready? If she had or have more money, she'd buy a car. If she had or have more money, she'd buy a car. Had. Had. If she had more money, she'd buy a car. If she had more money, she'd buy a car. Had is used here because it's the past simple form, and have is the bare infinitive form. We need to use the past simple form in the phrase after if. Have would only be correct if it was in the phrase that goes after she'd. Let's do some matching. Listen to what I say. Can you match the verb used in the past simple phrase to its infinitive form? If I had a restaurant, it would be a pizza place. Listen one more time. If I had a restaurant, it would be a pizza place. Did you hear had? Had is the past simple form of to have. How about, if I were you, I would order 2 pizzas. Let's listen one more time. If I were you, I would order 2 pizzas. Did you hear were? Were is the past simple form of to be. Next, if it worked, it'd look cool. One more time. If it worked, it'd look cool. Did you hear worked? Worked is the past simple form of to work. Next, if I owned a grocery store, I'd sell lots of things. One more time. If I owned a grocery store, I'd sell lots of things. Did you hear owned? Owned is the past simple form of to own. If I won the lottery, I'd go bowling every day. One more time. If I won the lottery, I'd go bowling every day. Did you hear won? Won is the past simple form of to win. Thank you for watching. Now you know how to make conditional statements in English. And now you can move on to the next lesson in the pathway on EnglishClass101.com.